Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to talk about how we can use the JDBcRowSet to update rows or even insert rows, but we are going to use update as an example. Let's go back to produce repository RowSet. Let's copy this method right here and let's do some changes. First, update void, and then the name will called update, and here we are going to ask for a producer. Now for the SQL, I'm going to do the following. Since I am feeling a bit lazy, let's go all the way back to our first producer repository and you search for the update prepare statement method. I'm looking for the prepare statement update, this one, because I would like to copy only this to reuse some code. The first code we are going to use is the SQL. Now, as you can see, we have the same update, enemy store, producer, set name equals wildcard, and then where ID equals wildcard. Remove producers, and remove this while, and remove this return. And now, basically, we are going to do the same thing as we did here. We have set string, the first one is the name, but instead of the format here, it's just producer.getName. And then, the second one is set int, like we did here, but the second index, and then get ID. Cool, now you can remove this one. It's just to be used as reference. And now we are going to do the following. Get this JDBcRowSet, go to producer service RowSet, Control D, change to void and add the, actually you can replace the entire signature, and here you will have the update RowSet passing this producer, but without any return. Now go to connection factory test. We are going to update, so we are going to need one of the producer to update we had before. So just go to connection factory test 01 and copy this, add here, and now producer service RowSet update, passing this producer to update. So basically we are updating this madhouse. And now log.info, I will add some separator here, because now we are updating and then we are searching by everything. Let's just return everything that we have in the database. So Control Shift F10. And as you can see, we have this nice error saying cannot issue data manipulation through the execute query. Basically, you cannot insert or delete. Actually, I'm not sure, but definitely you cannot insert or update through the query directly. We have to do something like we did before for the type scroll, exactly like we did for the update. If you scroll down, so basically we will have to do something like we were doing here. So we can then update directly through the result set, but what is it? Yeah, so basically we have to do something like we did here. Find by name and then insert. Cool, so let's do this. Let's go back to our producer repository RowSet. If you want to have this as reference, I'm just going to comment this out. Actually, I'm going to first copy and then comment this out. And now we're going to fully update. Since we are going to first select, we need to find exactly the row that we would like to update. And then you can copy the select. So search for everybody inside producer where ID equals this. Let's change here, remove the set string, and now we have the set int for this ID, and basically we are searching the database for one specific row. If I didn't find anything, so if my next is false, I'm going to just stop the method by giving the return here. But if I find something, if it passed the if, I'm going to update string, the column name, and I want to add the new name that I'm getting here in my object. And of course we have to do the same as we did before, update row. So let's check this out, Shift F10. So we have madhouse lowercase. If we change this to mad, Shift F10, you can see that we have the updated value. But the RowSet suffers the same problem as the result set. When we are updating like this, the changes that we do in the database is not reflected by what we have in the RowSet. But fortunately for us, there is something called listeners. So the RowSet, they have a listener that they can call, and basically when something is triggered, there are different triggers for each one of the listeners, it will execute a method. So let's see how it works. I think I was doing some tests. I have the listener package here. If you don't have, just create a new one. Listener. And then you create or just custom RowSet. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that your class will implement the RowSet listener because of the polymorphism. It needs to be a RowSet listener, and then you provide implementation for these three methods. Cool. So now that we have these methods, they are going to be called when specific actions are executed. For example, this one, and let's add here log4j2. This one will be triggered when the command executed happens. Now the last one here is pretty straightforward. It will be triggered when the cursor moves. So when you go row by row, then this method will be triggered for each one of the times that the cursor moves. And this one is the one we are looking for, because this one is when one row was inserted, updated, or deleted. And then if I would like to trigger the execute again in case of something was inserted, updated, or deleted. If the event that I have here is an instance of event, actually get source, because I want to know the source, the origin of this event, is an instance of RowSet, I can do a nice cast here, RowSet, and then I call the event get source, and then now that I have the RowSet, I can call the execute. Now this needs to be handled. You have this option now. Let me explain what it does. Sneaked rows. Sneaked rows is a Lombok functionality that will wrap your entire method between your entire piece of code that needs to be handled in a try catch once it's compiled. So I press Ctrl F9. The words are already getting mixed with different languages. Let's go back to classes, Java Core, and JDBC. If you don't see listener, just refresh on disk. Reload from disk, and then you custom RowSet listener. Now take a look at this. It just wrapped the entire row changed into this try catch. The good thing is you don't have to handle the try catch and your code looks linear. The bad thing is this is wrong in so many ways that I would like you to never use this in production, because there is a reason why the exception is checked, and you should follow the good rules. If you have checked exception, just handle that. Shift F6, replace the name to E. Okay, now we have the listener, and basically we just have to go back to our repository, and every time, for example, we have a JDBcRowSet, we add RowSet listener, and we just create an object, my custom RowSet listener. So we have the object here. I will copy this line and do the same for the update. Now, Shift F10, let's see how it behaves. So as you can see, the first time is the update. The command executed was triggered here, and then actually I think it was here. The cursor moved. No, it's sorry, it's here. The executed was triggered, and then the cursor moved, and then the row was inserted, updated, or deleted. Basically this one, and then the command execute was triggered again. So this execute was triggered because we have now inside row changed this line on 23. And after that, the find, as you can see, the execute was triggered. Going back to the repository. So basically, the execute was triggered, and then the cursor moved. So basically, for each one of the iterations, we have that event triggered, and at the end we have the result here. So basically, that's how you can change the data in your database through JdbcRowSet. I hope you enjoyed. Let's continue with more topics in the next video. Bye bye.